Okay, so we're going to actually start in Sukhasana today, so our seated position. If you want to lie down, then I don't really mind, you can do whatever you like, but if you want to sit, then you can sit. And you could grab a block as well if you want to sit onto the block, or a cushion or a bolster, whatever will help to make you feel comfortable. Today in our balance, we're doing tree, but I will offer kind of half lotus, and you can fold forward from that half lotus. So if you wanted to grab blocks for that, you could get, I mean, you might not want to, you might not feel like it. So you're going to see how you feel when you get there. So anyway, we'll sit, I'll take the dog off, but we'll sit in a cross-legged position. If you try to align your spine as much as you can, so again, you could sit against the wall or use a block if that helps you. And we'll have the hands, maybe you can either have them palm down or palm up. It's really just whatever is comfortable for you. And then you can either just lower your gaze or close your eyes. I'm just taking just that few moments at the beginning of class. Coming away from your morning and starting to draw your attention inwards. Becoming aware of your breath. Just notice as it moves in and out through your nose. And allowing the breath just to smooth out a little. As the breath becomes more even, start to notice your body, just how it feels here. So any areas of tightness or tension, and allow that to soften a little. As your body begins to relax, maybe you can notice just how you feel this morning, without holding on to the thoughts too much. Try and just allow them to move easily in and out through your mind. In this morning's class, we're going to do a practice in choosing joy. I use the word choosing because joy, in effect, resides within all of us. It's whether we choose to actually accept it and choose to live with that joy. And there are a lot of stresses that cause us not to be joyous, but these stresses tend to be things that are either bothering us from the past or things that have not actually yet occurred. Unless you're being chased by a swarm of bees in this moment, you're probably not that stressed. So the idea is that we become more present, and because we're present, we should hopefully be able to tap in the feelings of joy a little bit more. So we're going to start to move a little bit. So you could release your hands and open your eyes. And before we move, if you've got your legs crossed one way, you could change the cross of your legs. If you're not crossing your legs, you don't have to bother moving anyway, but sometimes it's nice to change the cross. So in order to work on a joy practice, we tend to try and open the chest a little bit. So that's what we're going to start with. So when you're ready, we'll have the arms down by your sides, and just on an inhale, we're just going to lift the arms up. So level with your shoulders, but stretch out through your fingers, try and relax the shoulders down your spine. As you exhale, we'll just release them back down again. So just do that again, so just at your own pace, just lifting the arms up gently, and then releasing them down. Okay, on the next one, we're just going to lift the arms up. We'll hold them up, and then we're just going to bend your elbows. So we're going to start to open the chest a little bit more here. So on the inhale, we'll start to pull the elbows together. So just give them a little squeeze. And then as you exhale, we'll start to pull them back. So maybe draw them a little bit further back so you get a little tightness across your shoulders. So do that again, just gently drawing the elbows in. And then create more space as you open up through your chest. Okay, we'll do that once more. So again, just take your time. As you come back this time, we're going to hold the arms back. And as you inhale, we're going to reach up the arms. So we're going to try and touch the fingertips. And then on the exhale, we're going to pull them down. So we're squeezing the shoulder blades together. Again, that little tightness across your shoulders. So do that again. So inhale, big stretch up, reaching up, touch the fingers if you can. And then just pull them down. And then. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So lifting up. And drawing the arms down. Okay, you can release your arms. You can give the shoulders a little roll. We'll come in for a twist now. So we're going to take your left hand onto your right knee and your right fingertips behind you. So just quite a gentle twist to begin. Seeing how your spine feels. Turning the head a little. When you're ready, back into the middle. We'll just take it the other way. So just gently move round. Okay, we'll make our way back into the centre now. So as you come into the centre, we're going to move to all fours. So you could just swing your legs round or move over the top of your feet, whatever feels right to you. And just come onto your hands and onto your knees. As you do that, we'll just take a few cat-cow movements, but concentrating on pulling the chest forward. So as you inhale, drop the belly and really peel forwards through your chest. And then on the exhale, we'll start to round in. So do that again. It's a little bit like our cobra as we pull the chest forwards and draw the shoulders down your back a little bit. Okay, we'll do that once more. So again, just take your time. Start to feel the sensations in the upper part of your body. When you're ready, move into the centre. Now this time we're going to move forwards and back. So as you inhale, just a little bit more over your wrists. And then on the exhale, pressing the hips back. And again, work in your own time, just see how it feels. Moving further forwards or further back, just depending on how your body feels. We'll do this once more. And then as you come forward this time, if you can, you're going to lay yourself down. So you're going to bend your elbows. If that's not suitable, you can always just come down onto your belly in your own way. But if you can, just bending the elbows, lower yourself down towards the ground. And we're coming into Sphinx here, so we're going to move up a little bit. And we're going to bring the hands so that the hands are in line with your elbows. And your elbows are in line with your shoulders. So we're quite high up here. And think about the pubic bone gently pressing down, but try and lift your belly button a little bit off the ground here. And we want to draw the shoulders down our back. We want to lift the chest up. And again, you could imagine there's little suction pads on your fingertips and you're going to gently pull yourself forward. But just starting to create a little bit more space in our heart space for joy, for love and compassion. And we're also going to stretch the shoulders here. So this is a kind of yin stretch and it's called bow tie. If you take your right hand, stretch it all the way over to the left corner of your mat. And then take your left arm and stretch it on top over towards the right corner. And it depends on how flexible your shoulders feel, but you might feel that you can then drop the head down. And just relax it down. And you might want a little bit more, so you can always walk your fingers a little bit further forward if you like. Just see how it feels in your shoulders. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly come back up into Sphinx. So just take your time, move yourself back up. As you come into Sphinx this time, we're going to bend in just through your left arm. So if you just bring your left arm so it kind of touch, or your left hand touches the right elbow, the right crease of your elbow. It doesn't have to be on top of it. And then we're going to bend your left leg. So just bend your left leg in. And then if you can, you could just stay like this. So you could reach back with your left hand and grab hold of your foot. Just see how it feels. Doesn't feel that right, then don't worry about it. Just quite a strong stretch through the front of that thigh. Okay, slowly release that, so without it pinging away, just release it. Come back into that Sphinx position just for a moment. And then we're going to do that bow tie, but we're going to do it the other way this time. So this time, take your left hand all the way over towards your right side of your mat. And then take your left arm all the way over to the right side. So again, we're just taking the other arm on top. It's the easiest way to describe it. And it might feel a little bit different. You might feel that it's a little bit tighter or looser. And try and relax your head down. Okay, when you're ready, we'll come back up. So into that Sphinx position once more. So you can just release your arms, walk yourself back up. So we'll do that little quad stretch on the other side. So your left hand is going to come in towards the right elbow and then just bending into your right leg. And again, if you want to, you could just stay here, or maybe you reach back and take hold of your foot. Again, just see how it feels, not to force anything. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly release that. And this time you can just lay all the way down onto your belly. As you come onto your belly, we're going to stretch the arms out like a T shape. So we're going to spread the arms really wide. We're going to stretch the shoulders here. So if you spread your arms wide, we'll go over and stretch your, we'll do your right shoulder first. So if you walk your left hand in, so just towards your face, and then use that to roll yourself kind of over onto your side, so onto your right side. And as you do that, you might bend your knees because that will make it a little bit easier. With the legs straight, it's a little bit harder, but you're totally in charge, so you can roll more over towards the right or over towards the left, depending on how much of a kind of compression and stretch you want here. The other thing you could do if you want to is to lift your left arm up and then bend it behind your back, and maybe you can grab hold of your right hand. Again, it really depends on the flexibility of your shoulders, so don't worry too much about it. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly release, so you can bring that hand all the way back round again. Bring that left hand in front of your face and use that to roll yourself over onto your front again. Just see how that feels in that right shoulder. So we'll do it on the other side. So spread your arms back into that T shape. Walk your right hand further in towards your face and use that to roll yourself over onto that left side. So again, bending into your knees, keeping your legs straight and moving to the position that gives you a stretch, which should feel kind of good. It will feel intense because it is an intense stretch, but it shouldn't feel painful in any way. And then if you want to, you could lift your right arm up and drop it behind your back, or try and search for that left arm, left hand. Okay, when you're ready, start to release your right hand, bring it again in front of your face, and then just very gently roll yourself over onto your front again. Now from there, bring your hands in. So we're going to do a little cobra here. So if you bring your hands down and in, so kind of in line with your shoulders, try and draw your elbows in towards the sides of your body. Relax your feet and legs. And then as you inhale, start to draw yourself up. So roll your shoulders back, lift your chest a little bit. And then on the exhale, slowly release all the way back down again. So we'll do that again. So inhale, draw the shoulders back, lift up through your chest a little bit. Exhale, slowly release down. We'll do that once more. So inhale, coming up. We're going to stay up this time. So just staying in this cobra position. Draw your shoulders back. Draw the elbows in. And then from here, if you can, we're going to keep pressing back. So you're going to push yourself up onto your knees and then start to press back to child's pose. And as you come into this child's pose, you might want to stretch your arms out in front of you and stretch across your shoulders a little bit. You drop the head down. Okay, when you're ready, slowly start to come back up again. So we're moving back into that all fours position. As you come into it, you might make some movement here. So you can maybe circle your hips around just in one direction. And then just move them the other way. Okay, we'll come back into the center. This time we're going to step your right foot up towards the top of your mat. Just take your time, just moving it through. As you come in, we'll just have the hands either side of it. You can take the knee back a little bit if you'd like. Now from there, we're going to lift the upper body up so you can use your hands, use your core, lift yourself up. And we'll just interlink the fingers and take them behind the back a little bit. So opening up your chest, maybe lift the hands a little bit away from your back, your low back. See how that feels. Okay, we'll release the hands all the way back down again. And then from there, step that foot back. So you're bringing that knee back in. Now from here, we're going to lift your right knee out to the side. So as you inhale, we're going to lift the right knee up to the side. And on the exhale, we're going to bring it down. And if you do that, you might kind of skim the floor a little bit. So inhale, lifting up through the knee. You have to lift it far or high. Exhale, slowly lower down. Now do that once more. This time, lift your right knee up and hold it up. And then extend your right foot out. As you do that, lower your right foot down towards the ground. And then if you can, place the right foot on the ground. So press down through your kind of baby toe and everything as well. And then start to walk your hands back towards your knees. And as you inhale, lift up through your chest. So we're just coming out into this gate pose. In this gate pose, we're going to stretch the side body. So we'll take the right hand just down that right leg. And then reach up and over with your left fingertips. So just a little stretch through the side. And you see how that all feels. And not to lean forwards or back. As you inhale, come back into the center. Now we're going to go the other way. So you might use a block here. Or maybe you can take that left hand down towards the mat. And as you do that, we're going to lift that right arm all the way up and over. We're grabbing that stretch through that right side of your body. As you inhale, come back up again. So draw your belly in. And then slowly release your hands back down towards the ground. Now from there, we're going to lift your right foot up off the ground. And we're going to swing it round to the back. As you do that, you're going to place the inside edge of your right foot on the ground. So we're kind of coming in for a plank or a plank preparation here. You can definitely keep your hands on the ground. If you want to, you could lift your right arm up. So you just stretch that right arm up. And then if you want a little bit more, you could lift your right foot up off the ground. But again, you do not have to. And if you feel that you want to move your left foot a little bit out so it balances you more, then do that. And then finally, if you want to, you could take that right arm, stretch it over your ear. Good, coming into that side plank. Just see how it feels. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. We'll slowly start to release your foot down. And then release the hand down towards the ground. Now this time turn onto the toes of your right foot, so you're on the toes of it. And then tap and lift your left knee up off the ground. So you're in a plank position. From there, you can lower your knees down, bend your elbows, and lower yourself all the way to the ground. As you inhale, we'll draw the shoulders back, take that little cobra again. And on the exhale, press back, so into your knees and back into that child's pose. Taking a moment there, just see how it all feels. Maybe as we're here and we're in a practice and joy, maybe one aspect of creating joy is to count your blessings. So maybe here you could just think of 3 things, 3 blessings that you have in your life. When you're ready, we'll start to move back up into that all fours position. Again, as you come in, any little movements that you like to make, so move your hips side to side, any little movement. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to step forwards with your left foot this time. So we'll just step it up towards the top of your mat. You can use your hands again, maybe slide your right leg back. You can keep your hands on the ground or lift your chest. And then again, maybe take your hands and interlink your fingers behind your back. So you could change your grip a little bit if you want. So one finger up or down. Try and squeeze the shoulder blades together. If it feels good, maybe lift your hands away. See what feels right. Okay, when you're ready, slowly release your hands, bring them back down towards the ground, and just step back with that left foot. So just back to all fours. As you come in, we're going to lift your left knee up to the side. So again, inhale, start to lift it up to the side a little bit. On the exhale, bring it back down. Again, it might skim the floor, you might touch the floor. It's really up to you. You don't have to lift it that high either. Just lift it to where you can. So on the next one, we'll lift the leg up, hold it, and we'll extend the left leg out to the side, lowering that left foot down, and then try and press all of your toes down towards the ground. From there, start to walk your hands back, draw your belly in and lift your chest up a little. Good, okay, we'll reach the arms out, we'll come in for that little side stretch again. So we'll go over towards the left this time, reaching up and over with your right arm. Again, just taking care that we're staying at the side and there's no movement to the front or back. Okay, inhale back into the middle. We'll go the other way. So again, you could have a block to place your hand on, or maybe you can reach the floor and then start to stretch up and over. Stretching all the way through the sides of your body. As you inhale, we'll come back up again. So draw your belly in, lift back up. Good. And then release your hands down towards the mat. So as you do that, if you can, lift up through your left foot, so you lift it a bit off the ground, and then swing it round towards the back. And as you come to the back, you're coming onto the ball of your foot or your toes of that left leg. And then from here again, we'll come into that little side plank prep. So if you can, you're going to lift your left arm up off the ground. You might keep your foot down. It's actually the outside edge of your foot you want down, not your toes. We're not there quite yet. Try and align your shoulders. So it's really important when we come into side plank. We are going to be doing it a bit later, that the shoulders are aligned, particularly on this bottom arm. So you want the shoulder aligned with your wrist. And then from here, if you want to, you could start to pick that left foot off the ground. But just see how that feels. And maybe you could stretch your left arm past your ear. But again, if you need to, you can adjust your bottom foot. Remember, it can act like a little kickstand for you. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. When you're ready, slowly release your foot down to the ground and release the hand down. So this time, we'll tuck the toes under, come onto the toes. We'll step back into a plank position again. Lowering down so you can drop your knees or just lower down all the way to the ground. As you inhale, we'll come up into that cobra once more. So draw your shoulders back and lifting up through your chest a little. And on the exhale, start to bend into your knees, press yourself back into that child's pose. Just take a moment there, seeing how your body feels. Seeing if you can find a little bit of joy. And the breath will help. So often when we're stressed, the breath will help us to release the tension. It can help us with the relaxing the central nervous system. And often if we do that, then the mind will follow that pattern. So we want to try and encourage that mindful breath, that slow breath, an even breath. Okay, when you're ready, move back into an all fours position. Take your time. And then this time we are going to come into our first downward facing dog. So we can start to tuck the toes and lift your hips and press up, downward dog. And when you get there, make any movements that you'd like. So bending into your knees or gently moving your hips. Now from here, we're going to look forward. You're just going to step your right foot up towards the top of your mat. So as you come up towards the top of your mat, you can definitely lay your left knee down. So you don't have to keep it lifted. It's really up to you. With the knee up or down, if you can, lift your chest up. And again, as you lift the chest, maybe you take your hands and interlink your fingers behind your back again. So that little opening through your chest. Maybe you can lift your hands away. See how it all feels. Oh, keeping that back knee down if you need to. Okay, when you're ready, release your hands. So just release them back down towards the mat. We'll just step back to down dog again. And you can stay in down dog. If you really wanted a vinyasa, you could always move forward to plank, but it's really up to you. I think I'll stay here today. It's been quite a long week. Okay, so we'll do the same thing on the left side. So we'll step the left foot forwards. Again, the knee can drop down. The back knee can stay on the ground. You don't have to lift it. Maybe lift your chest up. And again, if you want to change your grip a little bit with your hands, draw the shoulders back. You could lift the hands away. Start to feel that increase in space in your chest. Okay, when you're ready, we'll release the hands down towards the mat. Then again, we'll step back, downward facing dog. Maybe taking a deep inhale through your nose and a sigh out through your mouth. Just letting any remaining tension go. When you're ready, we're going to lift your heels up, looking forwards. You can either step or walk up towards the top of your mat, so just take your time. When you get there, separate your feet and bend into your knees. If you'd like, you could place your hands on your legs or let them dangle, or maybe take hold of opposite elbows, just whatever feels right. When you're ready, just releasing the arms back down again. As you inhale here, we'll lengthen the spine forwards to start to move up. On the exhale, just folding back and towards your legs. As you inhale, we'll reach up, so rising all the way up. Keep reaching with your hands, and then just draw the palms together, just in front of your heart. Maybe closing your eyes for a moment to see how everything feels as you come up to standing. Okay, when you're ready, we'll release the hands, we'll open the eyes. We're going to come in for our balance now. So again, you can stick with tree, you can stick with the half lotus, or you can take a little forward fold, and it's really up to you. So if you're using blocks and you want them, then grab them. So we'll come in for tree first. And we're going to spread your toes on your right foot. bending into your right knee a little, so belly in. And then we'll take the left heel and maybe just place it just onto that ankle. If you do want to move your foot further up, then moving it up towards the inner part of your calf, maybe, or using your hands and drawing it up towards the inner part of your thigh. Just wherever it suits you. And we'll start with the hands just towards the center of your chest. As you come in, start to think about your drishti, so where you're going to gaze. Start to even out your breath. And there's very little really choice with having our mind centered. We have to concentrate or otherwise we'll fall over. So, you know, our mind is usually present the most in our balanced postures. You just have to make sure that the thoughts that you're having are kind about what your balancing is like. Now, again, please feel free to stay here. If you want to bring more expression into your tree, then you can reach your arms, you can do whatever you like. If you want to come in for that half lotus, then we move the foot so towards the thigh or the crease of your right thigh, if you can, just wherever you can manage. And you can maybe just stay here, just in that half lotus. Again, stay with tree if that suits you better. And then half lotus, if you want to, you can fold forward. So you might just take your hands onto your leg, and that would give you that forward fold. And remember, in the half lotus, we kind of lift the hips up to fold forward more. And you could maybe take it down and grab blocks or grab the floor, wherever you want to be or try to go to, you can take it there. But, you know, you don't force it. You just move with what feels right and come out of it whenever you need to. And just stay with what feels like the best option for you. Good. And breathe. So when you're ready, we're going to come out of it. So if you're folded forward, start to lift up. If you're in tree and you've got your hands lifted, bring them down. And then we'll start to move the leg and bring your feet back together again and your hands back together. And just taking that moment just to notice the sensations you create in your body, in your mind, and in your breath as well. So if your breath becomes uneven, or you lose your breath, so you forget to think about it, then you may be going a little bit too far. Okay, we'll try it on the other side, so it's probably not going to feel the same. So we'll separate your feet, we'll stand onto that left leg, bending into your left knee and drawing your belly in. So coming in for tree of any variation, so you just move to it, whatever one suits you and feels right on this side. Bringing your hands just to the center to you settle your gaze, your breath, your thoughts. And again, if this is a good place for you to be, then why would you change it? But if you do want to change it, you could either reach with your arms and maybe take them up. You could try that half lotus on this side. And remember, you can always move out of things. If you move into it, it doesn't work, it doesn't feel right, then don't stay there, just come out of it and come back into tree or something. And if you want to fold forward, maybe taking your hands onto the leg, maybe releasing down to your blocks, maybe towards the floor. But whatever you do it with some kind of peace. So if you're fighting it, and it's fighting you, then there's no peace there, there's no calm, there's no joy. Okay, when you're ready, we'll start to slowly come out of it. So just take your time, moving up, moving down. Release your feet. And then back together. And close your eyes. And it's the small things that we need to really be thankful for in our joy practice. So if we kind of keep thinking and stressing about the big things, we actually miss the small things that will help to give us joy. if we just appreciate them. And that might just be being able to turn up and to actually practice for an hour. Okay. We'll release the hands, we'll open the eyes. So we are going to come and do some standing postures now. We will do that side plank again, but you can use the option that we did earlier with the knee down or the foot down. You just have to modify it. There will be a bind, but you don't have to do the bind if you don't fancy it. We will do a sun salutation to come into it, and again you can skip it, you don't have to do that. But we'll start at the top of your mat. We'll spread your toes and lengthen the legs, releasing the shoulders. So when you're ready, as you inhale, we'll start to reach up with your arms. So maybe looking up at your thumbs if you want. On the exhale, just folding forwards towards your legs, taking your time. As you inhale here, lengthen your spine forwards. And on the exhale, take the hands down. And you can either step back to down dog or step to plank, lowering your knees or bending your elbows halfway to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. And then on the exhale, we'll make our way back and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale through your nose again and just sigh out your mouth. We're going to step forwards with your right leg. This time we're moving to warrior one. So we'll step the right foot through, turning on the heel of your back leg, start to rise up to warrior one in your own time. So with the shoulders and with the hips facing forwards, the arms maybe reach up. Start to feel a balance through your feet and press strongly through the outer edge of your back foot. So we want that same pressure as we have on that front leg. And find some softness in it. So Sukha, the term that we use to describe our postures, remember, is Sthira Sukha. So Sthira is the strength, and if our postures are all strength, there's no joy there. So that Sukha is where we get that feeling of, joy and happiness and peace. So try and find that in your posture. When you're ready, we'll start to open up to warrior two. So just take your time moving around, again, adjusting your feet. If you need to widen them, maybe turning the toes slightly out towards the long edge of your mat. Maybe bending into the front leg and opening up here. So we're trying to open your hips. So draw back a little bit in your front knee and squeeze the glutes on that back leg. And then try and open your chest a little bit. So even here, we can create more space for joy to move into. And we're going to come into side angle. So we'll start to move forward. So you place your right forearm, maybe just down onto that right leg, and maybe just reach up with your left hand. Now again, if you don't want to do a bind here, then you can just simply stay here. You could take a half bind by reaching up with the left hand, bending the elbow, and taking it behind your back. And you can use that maybe on your t-shirt or your hip, or maybe you can grab the other thigh. If that is enough, you just stay here and maybe that helps you to open the chest a bit. If you wanted a little more, you could take that right hand even down towards the ground, or maybe you could take that right hand underneath and try and search for the left fingertips. Again, you just work with what feels best to you, without forcing any binds, so it's not worth it. Okay. When you're ready, you can release the bind if you have it. And we'll start to move up to warrior two again. So just take your time, just for a breath here, and then release both hands down towards the ground. As you do that, we'll turn onto the toes of your back leg. And then we're going to step back into a plank position. So we're going to move to the side plank. So as you move back, you could definitely lower your knees down here. And if you want to, you could just bring your feet together and roll to the outer edge of your left foot. So as you do that, you can reach up with your right hand. So if you're doing the variation, remember, place your left knee on the ground, stretch your right leg out, and then lift up through your right hand. Again, just see how it feels, work with what feels right, come out of it whenever you need to. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. We'll lower the right hand down towards the ground. And then we are just going to push back just into a plank position. We are going to lower to the ground. So knees up or knees down. Bend your elbows, lower down. And when you get there, you can just relax for a moment. So you can bring your arms round, drop your head down. Take that moment just to feel grateful. Maybe it starts to bring in feelings of joy for you. Okay, when you're ready, we'll start to make our way back up. We'll just come to all fours first. So you can use your hands, press yourself up to an all fours position. And again, when you get there, make any movements that you like to, any little adjustments. So we are just going to move into the other side here. So you could step to warrior one from here if you want to. Otherwise, we'll tuck the toes. We'll lift the hips back to downward facing dog. Again, adjust the practice to suit you, and that's where you'll find the joy. If you just keep trying to fight against it, then it sometimes makes it quite miserable. So we're going to step your left foot up towards the top of your mat. So we're coming into warrior one again. So again, as you do that, spin on the heel of your back leg and start to lift yourself up. So as you come into warrior one, maybe you reach your arms, maybe you keep your hands down. Again, just work with what feels like the best position for you. Start to press through the outer edge of your back foot. Start to feel balance in your feet and your legs. And maybe this sukha bit is just a little smile. Okay, so sometimes, you know, we smile in our face, all the muscles in our face get a little workout as well. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. We'll start to move to warrior two. So just take your time, rotating around, making the adjustments to the feet and the legs. Maybe adjusting your arms. So it's always a good idea to look back behind you, see what's going on. Check out your back hand. Is it kind of just dropping or too high? Start to feel the openness in your hips a little bit more. So draw the belly in a little. Focus on your breath and find that drishti. So we are going to move to side angle again. So start to maybe move forwards a little bit. So left forearm down, right arm past your ear. So you can stretch it past your ear. So that's the energy is moving up through the side of our body. And we just want it to continue moving up. And if that feels good, stay with that. Maybe take the half bind. So right arm up, bend the elbow, take it behind your back. So that might open the chest for you a little. And again, if you want to, you could take that left hand down to the ground, or maybe you start to search for that right hand. So maybe it goes under the thigh and you try and reach for it without force, obviously. So we're not desperate to reach it. We're just kind of checking it out. Okay, when you're ready, we'll release the bound if you haven't. Start to lift back up again, so back into that warrior two position. Releasing your hands down towards the mat. So we'll turn on the toes of your back leg again, so coming into that lunge. So we are going to come into that side plank. So you could step back to plank first, lowering your right knee down, remember, if you want to come into that variation, or bring your feet together, roll to the outer edge of your right foot and lift up. Again, just work where it feels right. Make sure you're doing the other side to start. Make sure you're not doing side plank on the same side. And use the variation that suits you. Make sure your shoulder and your wrists are aligned. Side body lifting. One more inhale. And then releasing the left hand down. Step back into a plank position and lower yourself to the mat. So knees down or bend your elbows. Release and relax down. So bring your arms down, drop your head. Just breathe there. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to move back up again. So moving your hands just underneath your shoulders. Start to just press yourself to all fours. So take your time. Again, maybe you circle round to your wrists, any little movements that you feel that you want to make. Now from here, we are going to move into Ustrasana or camel pose. So when you're ready, we'll walk the hands back towards your knees. Start to lift the upper body. Now, if you do want to grab blocks here, you can, but the point is not to get further back, but just to get an openness in your chest. So don't worry too much about that. So we're going to separate your knees about hip distance, and you can either have your toes flat or your toes tucked. Try to think about your pelvis here being tucked under a little bit. So what we don't want is to kind of arch the back too much. So we want the pelvis tucked under so it's nice and strong position to take our camel pose into. And then taking your hands, so either onto your low back or your hips, just wherever your hands will go comfortably. And you might just squeeze the shoulder blades together to open your chest. Maybe keep your chin tucked. And you might just stay there. So that might be enough. If you want a little more, maybe you start to move back a little bit and you could release your head, or maybe start to move your hands down the back of your thighs, taking your hands to blocks or maybe down towards your heels. But again, just wherever it suits you and it feels like the best place for you. There's no point in going into it if it's going to be detrimental to your spine. So work where it feels right. Start to breathe into the space that you're creating in your chest. And then again, slowly and carefully moving out of it. So not rushing, but really taking your time, taking care of yourself as you come back up. And as you come up, you can release your toes if you've got them tucked and sit back onto your heels. Okay, if this is not suitable and doesn't feel that nice, then bring your legs out in front of you. So you don't have to sit here if it's not good for your knees. And just take a moment, just notice the sensations you've created in the back of your body. Okay, from here, we're going to bring the legs forward. So you can sit round, swing your legs round. So a good counter pose for a back bend is a twist. So we're going to take a little twist. Just a gentle twist, a simple one. So we're going to stretch the legs out in front of you. Keep your right leg straight and just bend your left leg in. So we'll take the left foot up and over the right leg. And then you can do it like this, or if you did want a little bit more, you can always bend into the right leg as well. So you can pull the right leg in if you want to. You don't necessarily have to. If you're keeping that right leg straight, flex your foot a little bit, and then using your right hand or your right arm, draw yourself to the left side and use your left fingertips just on the ground, just to very gently pull yourself around. Just make sure that your left toes are pressing towards the mat, so they're not loose, but they're genuinely pushing down to create that kind of pivot point that we can twist around from. When you're ready, we'll make our way back in towards the center. As you come in, we'll release that and we'll just change sides. You can just bend into your right leg and move it up and over the left. As you do that, you might bend and do that left leg. It's really up to you. Or keep your left leg straight and your foot flexed. So left hand or arm draws us around, and the right fingertips lengthen our spine along. And push down through your right big toe. When you're ready, slowly release to come back towards the middle. Release your legs, you can give them a little shake. So another good counter is a forward fold. So we're going to do a wide legged one. So we'll take our feet quite wide, bending into your knees if you would like to. And you're always sit on a block here as well, or just move the kind of fleshy parts back a little bit so you're more onto your sit bones. Coming into it, you can either just crawl yourself forward, or if you like, you can reach up on an inhale and fold forwards on the exhale. So just really whatever feels right and suits you. And when you come into it, remember we're trying to lengthen our spine here. So keep maybe on the inhale for a few breaths, lifting your chest up. And then on the exhale, maybe start to fold in a little bit more. And you can do that a few times, just taking that inhale to lift and the exhale to move in. And bend your knees a little if you need to. And then once you've done that a few times, maybe you just relax everything. So you can round in. You come as far as you can anyway. So you could round your back, round your shoulders, drop the head. When you're ready, we'll slowly come back out of it. So again, take your time, move slowly. And then bring your legs back together. So you can give them a little shake there. And from there, we'll make our way down onto your mat. So you can take your time coming down. We're going to do a little reclined pigeon when you get there. So you have your feet hip distance apart, heels quite close in. We'll keep your left foot on the ground and lift your right foot up. So you're just going to flex that and place it onto your left thigh. Now, if you want to, you could just stay here and just gently press that leg. You can even use your right hand and push the right knee away. If you want a bit more, lift your left foot off the ground and hook your hands behind the back of your left thigh. Reflex your feet a little bit and relax the upper body as much as you can. Remember, the more you pull in that left knee, the more stretch you'll get in that right hip. Now we're going to keep the cross of your legs, so just release your hands, place your left foot on the ground, spread your arms, and then just drop both of your legs just over to the left side. Maybe turn your head and look along your right arm. Change sides when you're ready. So just make your way back into the middle and crossing your legs. And then lift your left foot and place it on your right thigh. So again, stay here or lift your right foot off the ground. Hook your hands behind the back of your thigh. And relax your shoulders, relaxing your head. Drawing that right knee in. When you're ready, slowly release your hands, keeping the cross of your legs again. Just drop them over towards the right. Maybe turn and look along the left arm. When you're ready, come back into the middle. Still crossing your legs. You can draw your knees in now. Make any final movements. So we're going to come into Shavasana next. So if you do want to grab a jumper or some socks or both. So it's a practice for cultivating joy. And it is a practice on our breath. So we're going to use our breath, and each of the breaths has a single word which will help you just to focus your attention on them. With the first breath, bring your awareness to the sensation of your breathing. Pay close attention to the physical sensation of your breath as it moves in and out. Follow your in-breath and out-breath from the beginning to the end. The word to say to yourself during this breath is breath. With the second breath, bring your attention to all of the sensations in your entire body. Allow your awareness to completely fill your body and notice what you find. Some sensations will be pleasant, some unpleasant, and some neutral. See if you can allow yourself to feel these sensations without trying to change them at all. Pay special attention to any tension, heaviness, or agitation. The word for this breath is body. With the third breath, actively release all of the tension, heaviness, and agitation in your body. You can imagine that it's being washed out of you with your out breath. The word for this breath is release. With the fourth breath, say to yourself, may you have some ease and lightness of body and mind. See if you can say this with your heart, with love and generosity towards yourself. May you have ease and lightness of body and mind. You're wishing yourself well and sending compassion to your body and mind. The word for this breath is love. With the fifth breath, notice if there are any cravings or aversions present in you. Is there any part of you that wants reality to be different than it is right now? Is there any way that you're not accepting or you're fighting against things as they are? Just notice any cravings or aversions and let yourself feel them without trying to make them go away. They are not your enemy. They're a part of you that needs love and caring. The word for this breath is cravings. With the sixth breath, become aware that everything you need to be happy is already present in this moment. All of the conditions that are needed for peace, joy, and freedom are already here. There are infinite reasons to suffer and infinite reasons to be happy. What matters is where we're putting our attention. Let's no longer ignore the positive conditions that are available in this moment.
Problems do exist, but they are not all that exists. For this one breath, focus on everything in life that is good. We're no longer regretting the past or worrying about the future. We are here and present to the miracles of life. The word for this breath is letting go. When you're ready, we're going to take a deep inhale, just through your nose. And then we'll just sigh it out your mouth. You can do that again, just deeply inhale. And just let it go. And we'll start to move a little bit, so through your fingers and through your toes. Maybe circle your ankles or your wrists. And if you'd like, you could start to reach your arms over your head and stretch down to your feet. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the arms over and begin to bend the knees. So moving a little bit, maybe rolling over onto your side. And then just when you're ready, so in your own time, we'll start to come up. Maybe keeping your eyes closed as you move up. And just start to find just a comfortable seat. So just bring the palms together, just in front of your heart. Just leaving a little gap, just to signify an openness in your heart. Thank you so much for coming along and practicing with me this morning. I hope you enjoyed our Choosing Joy practice. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll stop the recording and then you can unmute yourself.